Hello, YouTube. Once again, this is your poster child for overactive brain disorder with another Ivory Watchtower publication. This is a subchannel of Kitchen Table Apologist. We ask you, hey, if you like this stuff, please subscribe. Get your friends, your neighbors, and all those people who you think would benefit from them to subscribe as well. This one is entitled Under Obligation, and it will talk about something we are under obligation to do, at least according to the New World Translation, and wondering, just how we should apply this. We'll begin here in John 15:13, out of the New World Translation, 2013, most recent one I have. The verse says, "No one has greater love than this, that someone should surrender his life in behalf of his friends." By this, Jesus showed his love for all mankind, for he followed the example and surrendered his life in behalf of men as ransom for their sin. So, from a biblical standpoint, what should our response be? How should we, imitate the love of Jesus here in basically surrendering his life in behalf of men? To do this, let's go here to 1 John 3:13 to 18. Now, this is going to be a long one, so just kind of hang on with it. "Do not be surprised, brothers, that the world hates you. We know that we have passed over from death to life because we love the brothers. The one who does not love remains in death. Everyone who hates his brother is a murderer, and you know that no murderer has everlasting life remaining in him. By this we have come to know love, because that one surrendered his life for us, and we are under obligation to surrender our lives for our brothers. But whoever has the material possessions of this world and sees his brother in need and yet refuses to show him compassion, in what way does the love of God remain in him? Little children, we should love, not in word or with the tongue, but in deed and truth." There are several points to consider from this passage. Well, first one, Jesus laid down his life for us. That's what we've been talking about, his surrendering his life for our behalf. Therefore, we are, as the verse says, under obligation to surrender our lives for our brothers. Now, failing to do so is considered hate for our brothers and makes us murderers with no everlasting life remaining in us. I really don't want to be a murderer in the sight of God. So, according to this, we are to use our material possessions to aid our brothers out of compassion for them. And failing to do so shows that we do not have the love of God within us. All right, we've got that. We're all set on this. All right, let's move on to our next. Now, Leviticus 17:14 is one of the passages in the Old Testament also that led into the Acts 15:29, talking about blood. Here we go. It says, "For the life of every sort of flesh is its blood, because the life is in it. Consequently, I said to the Israelites, you must not eat the blood of any sort of flesh, because the life of every sort of flesh is its blood. Anyone eating it will be cut off." So, here we go. We've got a basic thing here. The life is in the blood. So, then, as I've already mentioned, the life of every sort of flesh is its blood. And as a result, in terms of biblical implication, what would it mean to surrender our blood? Is this not the same as surrendering our lives, at least, from an overall biblical standpoint? So if that's the case, are we not then under obligation to surrender our blood for our brothers? We're supposed to surrender our lives for our brothers, and here we've got material blood, which is equated to life. If we're to surrender our lives, are we not also surrendering our blood? Or at least we're not supposed to. Are we supposed to? And doesn't failure to do so make us murderers with no everlasting life remaining in us? So, if all of this is true, who are we to refuse blood that our brothers have provided us? Isn't that refusing what Jehovah has commanded our brothers to give us in our time of need? So, I remember this joke about a man who was trapped on his roof during a flood. Basically, the waters were rising up really high. Basically, it pretty much engulfed the first floor of his house. And so a rowboat, a guy with a rowboat comes by and he's like, "Hey, hop in. I'll save you. Get you out of here." The man's very devout, and he says, "Oh, no, go ahead, save other people. Jehovah will save me. So, man with the boat goes away. Waters keep rising up, almost engulf the second floor of his house by this time. A speedboat comes by. He says, "Hey, we've got room. We're about to leave here. Just hop in. We'll save you." And the man's like, "No, go save someone else. Jehovah will save me." And so that speedboat leaves. Keeps going. Waters keep building up. Getting onto the roof of his house, and he doesn't have a whole lot of room left. Helicopter goes, drops a rope ladder down to him. It's like, come on, just get on here. We'll save you. And the man says, "No, go save someone else. Jehovah will save me." And helicopter's like, "Are you sure?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm good." So the helicopter leaves, and the waters continue to go through, and he eventually dies. And he gets resurrected and comes up to Jehovah and says, "Hey, I thought you were going to save me." Jehovah says, "Well, I sent 2 boats and a helicopter. How much more did you need?" So that's the thing. It's like, if we refuse what Jehovah has commanded people to provide for us, whose fault is it if we aren't saved? Why is preserving the representation of life in the form of blood more important than preserving the life itself? If giving the blood saves the life, why shouldn't we do it? After all, whom did Jehovah honor more? Did he honor the priest and the Levite in the story of who is our neighbor? Was it the priest and Levite who passed by the injured man on the road for fear of violating Jehovah's laws about cleanliness? Or did he honor the Samaritan who stopped and helped? Did he honor the Pharisees who diligently avoided work on the Sabbath to the point where they made up all sorts of rules about what you could and couldn't do? Or did he honor the Christ who healed even though it was a Sabbath? This is the sort of thing we need to deal with. You've got laws, and then you have compassion. Laws are for the general case. No law is meant to handle every single circumstance. There are always going to be exceptions. And you need to see when, in this specific case, when compassion compels you to do something that the law doesn't specifically authorize or might specifically forbid. I mean, even in the case of, David and his companions eating the showbread, which is only for the priests, that was an exception that applied in a very specific case. And this is why we have judges. People who can apply human reasoning and offer compassion when it's needed. When a law may say that you're supposed to do something that would seem cruel or would actually be injurious. You go make the exception, the judge will look at it and say, "Look, all right, compassion dictates that this is what's supposed to happen. That's what we need." And thus, we need to be very thankful that Christ is our judge, because he will judge us not on our adherence to the law, but on adherence to him and his laws of compassion. And in this case, laws of compassion, to me at least, dictate that we should be giving and receiving blood if that will bring life to people and basically help bring compassion to them. So once again, this is your overactive brain disorder poster child signing off. Until we meet again, enjoy.